Hi everyone, Jill here. Welcome to my channel. So, yep, we are going to be looking at another Paula Young wig today. This is my second experience with a Paula Young wig. This one's called Jamie Lynn, and we're going to be looking at it in two colors. So yep guys, I went ahead and bit the bullet on another Paula Young wig. This is Jamie Lynn, and it is still within their VersaFiber line. So VersaFiber is their heat-friendly fiber. You can take some heat to these fibers, and so I'm sticking with that for now because I know that I prefer those kinds of fibers, even though technically they don't tend to last as long. They break down a little faster. But I have no experience with the VersaFiber yet, so we're going to see how long it does take for that to happen down the way. So yeah, guys, this one we're going to start with today, and there are actual names to these, and I'll put it up somewhere in here so you can see. But all the specs to these to this wig, that's going to be down below in the description box right below this video. But I'm going to go ahead and give you the code, sort of the color code for this one, and I think I'm going to have to slip on my glasses for that so I don't get that wrong. So it is SF1026 number 6. That number 6 is the root color, and this is an average cap. I do not believe these wigs come in a large or petite size. If I'm wrong, you'll see it down there in the description box as well. So this one is different. This is a different color. The first Paula Young wig that I purchased and did a wig chat on was the Ashley, and that was in Honey Rooted. And I don't remember the code right off the top of my head, but this one is not. This one is not Honey Rooted, so it's a little different. It is very pretty. I really like this one so far, just right off the top. It's quite pretty. It's not quite as warm as the Honey Rooted, and yet you have some highlights, some sort of light gold, light blonde sort of highlights, just a little, just a frosting, if you will, of those highlights throughout. It would have been nice if there were a little bit more, I think. But I have to say, and then they are in here, those highlights are throughout, which kind of keeps that brown nice and subdued. It is very pretty. I think this is a pretty color. I pretty much, I think, like it equally as well as the other. Yeah, it is a really pretty one as well. So I did take a glance at the one we're going to be taking a look at next, which is the blonde, and I'm not sure about that one, but we'll see. So we will take a look at the cap on these, on this particular wig, but I'm going to first talk about the style while I have it on my head, and right before I switch out, I'll go ahead and show you guys the cap. It's a very basic cap. This was very affordable. I believe this was $59, I think, about $60. And that wasn't a sale, and I would imagine if they had a sale, you would get this out of steel. So with that, it's going to be a basic cap. We're not going to have any of the bells and whistles, no lace fronts, no monofilament. So that's, you know, what makes it affordable. I really like these fibers as they are brand new, and again, I will have to follow up down the way to let you know sort of the longevity of these VersaFibers. But just right out of the box, in the short time that I've had even my other Paula Young wig, the fibers are lovely. They are realistic, they feel good, they have great movement, and again, like I said, you can take heat to these. I'm assuming it still requires a cold set. They usually do, which means once you put a curl in there, you're going to have to pin it or at least hold it there until it completely cools. And then it's going to set in and you'll have yourself a nice little curl or whatever it is you're trying to do. Beware though, you should not go over 350 degrees. I've never even gone into the threes at all, ever. with any HD fiber. I usually can get something around 260 to 280, works just fine. I'm just a little bit of a chicken when it comes to applying it up to 350 as they say you can. But, okay, so I've got my mirror here. Forgive me if you see me sort of looking down or over here. This is, I just put this on just right before I started recording. I did put a little hairspray in, but it's already out. And right off sort of the bat, I feel like it's a little heavy through here. I feel the density, it feels good. It feels light. It feels airy, you know, the fibers don't feel heavy, but just visually speaking, I don't know. I feel like it just looks just a little heavy, right kind of in here. It could be, I don't know, the layering, or I'm not sure, but I just feel like, I do feel like that. Okay. So if it does start feeling that way to me, it's a clue, since it feels good. The density doesn't feel heavy, it's razory, it's light. So that tells me that I really sort of just need to get in there and get those fibers kind of up and off and away from the cap. That will kind of sort of also give us those layers that are in there and bring them out. And hopefully that will sort of lighten up things for me. You know, it will not make me feel quite like it's so heavy. So I'm gonna sort of do that. Kind of get those layers sort of activated, if you will. And maybe that will sort of help that situation. It's a little big right now, but so guys, this is the Beauty Mark Style and Hold hairspray. It's a pump hairspray, and it's made specifically for synthetic fibers. So this is my favorite. This is my favorite. I feel safe using this on my wigs, and it washes out fine, and it has pretty great hold considering it's made for wigs, you know, synthetic hair. And I have tried about 4 different brands of hairsprays, and this one is still my favorite. So this is like my 3rd bottle of this. It is really pretty dang great. It's hard. It is really hard. It was very hard for me to find a wig hairspray for synthetic fibers that behaved like hairspray, like I wanted it to be. And this comes the closest for sure. Has, you know, as long as you don't start combing through it again with your pick or your fingers, it has fairly nice hold. Okay, so the other thing that I noticed when I put this on is that we do have quite a flip situation here. And that is going to, I'm just going to say, I really do feel like that might drive me a little nuts. If I can get the flip kind of away from my face a little, then it won't be so bad. I don't mind a little under thing going on here. It's not that so much, it's that it comes out this way. And I noticed that, see, it sort of wants to just kind of, you know, hug and then just kind of flip out this way. It just, I think that will drive me a little crazy. I think it'll just be a little annoying for me. So let's kind of, there's a lot of layering in here. So, you know, you could get yourself a good amount of body and height. I am a tucker, as you know, so tucking would probably happen with me. I do feel like, again, see this? I think that will drive me a little crazy. But let me go ahead and do a spin so we can see what this looks like all the way around. know. Yeah, I feel like a lot of great body. There is permatease in this. There is definitely permatease right here in the crown. You know, all the way in here, there is permatease. All the way kind of back in here, all permatease. And so that's what gives you all this lift. And you know, with a basic cap where you do not have any monofilament, you do want some permatease. You want some lift. You don't want it to just lay right there on top of the cap, because we want this sort of lift right here that you're seeing, and it lifts it up and off the cap for you. That way it's like no big deal if I can't see scalp in there. It just looks like I still have this really lovely, gorgeous head of hair, and it doesn't make people go, well, that's weird. It's, you know, you got to remember, you guys, we are wig wearers for the most part, right? So we scrutinize things, you know, and we're sort of more tuned in. But the majority of the public, they don't scrutinize your hair like that. You got to remember that, because if you're afraid to get out in the big bad world with your brand new gorgeous hair, because you're afraid people are going to go, oh my God, she's wearing a wig. I'm telling you, it's not going to happen, because these wigs are very nice. The fibers are gorgeous. The color is so believable and natural that it's really just now a matter of you doctoring up a few things, helping the illusion along, and yet still remember, people aren't really looking at every single person they meet and saying, is that a wig? No, 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 no. There's just a couple little things that can drive home that look of it cannot be anything but your own hair, you know, and that could be using a little bit of fill-in powder here, you know, and just creating sort of a shadow and make a nicer hairline there around the perimeter, you know, and pulling out a little bit of your hair on the side maybe, if you have it. If you don't, a little shadowing with these still is just can make a big difference. So yeah, I just don't want you guys to think that just because you do it, because you are looking, you know about wigs. Other people, no. I don't know. See this? For me, I just feel like it makes me look a little bit dated, you know? So I think tucking would be really cute with this one. I think I would have to get some of that away from my face. And see right there, I mean, that just to me makes me feel a little more comfortable in this. And that's sometimes all it takes is just a little something, whether it's, you know, putting a headband in it or putting a little clip or... And then you may find that as time rolls on and you wear this or whatever that style is, that you start warming up to it and you start, okay, and then pretty soon you don't need to do these sorts of things and you're fine with it. But for now, I could tell I'm not quite comfortable with it, so I would have to kind of tuck it, and I think it looks pretty cute like that. I can tell you, because when I got this on, I went in the bathroom and got my mirror and looked behind, is I love the body that this one has right here in the crown. I love that. I think it gives us a really nice profile. I think it's so pretty. And something else that I've noticed is you can feel kind of that little bit of a woolly sort of, I can feel a little itchiness kind of right here along this perimeter, along this edge, because that permatease, I can feel a little bit of those little fibers. They're sort of those little tiny woolly sort of fibers, and they kind of want to come down and hit me right here along my forehead, and I can feel those a little bit. It's not too bad, but I definitely can feel them all through here and all kind of through here. All, I don't even know if you can see them, but those little sort of scratchy, itchy, tiny, short little fibers all through here, I can they're going to irritate me a little bit, I think. I won't get irritated as in red skin, but it'll just irritate me because they'll be a little itchy. So that is something that I do also feel sometimes with my Noriko wigs, and I don't reach for them very often because of that. My Tony Bratton wigs, they don't do that to me. So this is very reminiscent, kind of, really, construction-wise, the way it feels as a Noriko wig, except the cap itself is larger than a Noriko wig. I may even try straightening this, because you know we can take heat to this. So I may actually try to kind of straighten it and maybe redirect these. Maybe that'll help. We'll see. Just kind of straighten them a little bit so they don't want to curl in this way. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I'm going to go about that. But if I come up with something that works, I'll be sure to let you know. So let's go ahead and take a look at this other one. And we're going to take a look at the cap real quick. It's just a basic cap. Okay. Well, I got to keep this now because I accidentally I didn't mean to, but in trying to get the netting off of this card, it ended up pulling the card off. And it says this product cannot be returned unless this tag is still attached. So we're keeping this one for sure. So let's take a look at the cap. Very basic cap here. Okay, we have a closed cap. This is very similar to what you would find in a Noriko wig. And there is permatease all in here. It's all permatease in here. Machine wefted throughout. This one does have an extended nape, guys. And it has velvet lining, which is really nice. That's gonna really cut down on itching back there. It's gonna feel much, much nicer. And the Velcro straps for adjusting up to a 1/2 inch on each side. And then we do not have any sort of lace front here. We do not have any monofilament, but we have a little band here of, again, that soft sort of velvet material. But as mentioned, maybe we can see better now. I don't think you can. I can feel it. If I go like this, I can feel those little, you know, sort of fibers. They're sort of more of a plasticky feel. It's kind of that permatease. And I can feel that against my skin. This color, okay, let's take a look. All right, so this is a very sunny golden yellow. It is probably more yellowy and goldeny than I would prefer. In the rooting area, I'm seeing some brassiness, which I am not a big fan of that, but it definitely gets a little brassier here in the root area. And then the direct root is, you know, a darker root. Let me read to you what this color is. So one thing I do want you guys to know, with a cap like this, with the top being completely closed and with that all that permatease under there, this is going to be a warm one. And I can tell already that it is. Where is that other ear tab? There it is. Okay, there we go. All right, so you know what just came to mind as I'm looking at this? You know what this haircut reminds me of a little bit? Do you watch Rosemary in Time? It's a BBC show. You know, it's definitely not running anymore. This was a while back. It has Felicity Kendall and Pam Ferris in it. I love it. I've been watching it recently a lot, which is probably what kind of made me think of this. I own it, and I own all 3 seasons. I wish they would have made more. It's just a fun, light-hearted kind of whodunit. And it's beautiful, too. They're gardeners, and so you get to go to some beautiful gardens as they travel around. Anyway, this reminds me of Felicity Kendall's character's hair in probably, I would say, the first season. She gets it cut a little shorter for seasons 2 and 3, but I absolutely loved her hair in that. And you know, this does kind of remind me of both her color and the cut and the style. If you're familiar with that show, maybe you're going, yeah, I can see that. So, let me kind of make sure that it's sitting where it needs to. Well, like I said, this is definitely a little bit more, there's even kind of an orangey hue in here, and I think it's that sort of butterscotch color that's in there. So I'm not digging this blonde. I'm really not. So I'm just going to kind of do more of a messy part with this. Maybe tuck this side. I'm going to sign off for now. I have another wig coming to show you. It is not a Paula Young, however. It is a different, same sort of theme that we've been doing with, you know, trying to look at these lower budget wigs, trying to see which brands that I like the most. And we've looked now at a couple Paula Youngs, several Toni Bratton wigs, and I'm going to be taking a look at another lower cost brand very soon. All right, see you soon. Stay safe, stay well, and stay young at heart. Bye-bye.